Today we're doing Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion. To set up Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion, first we're going to place the scoreboard out within the easy sight, everybody, making sure that it is on the correct player count located here in the bottom left corner of the board. 2 to 4 for 2 to 4 players, 5 for 5 players. Okay, place it where everybody can see it, and place the black round marker here on the A spot for this left spot of the brown track there. Next we're going to place the money off to the side of the board. I have containers for this. You can do it however you want. Make it a pile. I don't care. It's your game. Next, each player selects a color and takes the player pieces of that color, which include a shield, including the side pieces to put the shield together. A starting tile, which is double-sided, showing a castle on one side and their color of the player on the other side. And one scoring marker in their color. We're going to place the scoring markers on the 0 spot of the scoreboard. Don't forget to give each player the axe. We'll return any unused player pieces to the box. They will not be used for the game. Okay, next we will take the end of round scoring tiles and place them off to the side of the scoreboard for now. This is the basic setup for the base game of Isle of Skye. Now we're going to include the Journeyman expansion. Alright, now with the Journeyman expansion, each player is going to get a player board in their color, and we're going to look up to the top left to see which player count it should be facing up. All right, 2 to 4 is what we're going to do. The other side shows a 5. All right, then each player will receive these bonus tiles here for their player board. We're going to give those a shuffle and place them on our boards. All right, alternatively, one player could choose how to place them on the boards, and then every other player would follow them. We're going to just do them randomly. All right, once we give them a shuffle, we're going to place them face up in the appropriate spot that matches the number. So the one tile would go in one space in this column here. 2s would go in this column, and 3s would go in this funky column here. Next, we're going to take the 6 Journeyman cubes here, and we're going to place one on each of the rows here on the left side of the board, the player board. And we're going to find this tile here, the special tile. It's labeled number 1 on the back side with the cube on it, and we're going to place one there. Each player will start off with 2 of these Journeyman destination cubes, we'll call them, okay? Place the castle tile where you can reach it, giving yourself some room around it, and then place the Journeyman tile on top of it. We're going to return any unused player boards or tokens to the box. They will not be used for the game. Next, we're going to take 3 of these row tokens for each player, and we're going to place them off to the side of the board for now. Returning any unused ones to the box. They will not be used for the game. Next, we'll take one of these 50, 100 sided score tokens for each player. We'll place them near the board, the scoreboard, returning any unused ones to the box. They won't be used for the game. Journeyman comes with 4 of these end round scoring tiles. You could shuffle them in with the base game and then draw 4, flip them face up like you would normally in the base game. For this, we're just going to place all 4 face up so we can see what each one does. All right, but normally I would shuffle them up and then just draw 4 of them randomly and place them face up in the slots here underneath the flags A, B, C, and D. 1 under each flag there. Return any unused ones to the box. They will not be used for the game. Next, we're going to take the land tiles from the base game, and we are going to add these tiles with the Journeyman symbol on it. Okay, there's 8, I think. Okay, we're going to add them to the bag and give them a shuffle. Put it off to the side of the scoreboard for now. Alright, the final step to set up is to assign first player. The rulebook says the youngest player. You can choose however you want to. And that is it. You are set up to play Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion. Alright, so Isle of Skye is a tile laying variable scoring game in which players who have the most points at the end of 5 or 6 rounds, depending on the player count, will win the game. Okay, now with Journeyman, it plays pretty much the same, except for there's like one phase in the middle of the initial 6 phases, and some little things along the way in the other phases. All right, so start off, it'd be the same. We would do the income. All right, we would get 5 coins for the castle plus any barrels that are connected by road to the castle tile. So in this case, the green player here would get 6 coins. All right, we take 6 coins, put it in our supply. One of the differences is in Journeyman, there are these little road tokens here that we can place throughout the game. Later on, they'll be unlocked to us. But if these roads connect tiles that normally wouldn't connect to a road for whatever reason you laid it that way, these would also count as a road if they were placed. So here, as you can see, this tile and this tile would not connect by a road because of the way it was placed. But if we place these, and during the income phase, we could use that like a normal road. So the yellow player here get 5 for the castle, plus 1, 2 for these 2 barrels here, which do connect to the castle because of these new road tiles placed. So they get 7. Okay, and players would take that income from the bank, placing it into their personal supply, their personal bank. And they would do this simultaneously like normal, and then it would move on to the next phase, which is starting with the first player. They would draw tiles from the bag and place them face up in front of their shields. Okay, and they would do this and then pass on to the next player, and everybody would do that, placing tiles face up like normal. Then we would, place the axe behind our shield to show which one we want to get rid of. Everybody would do this simultaneously like normal. So I place it here, lining it up with the tile in front of the shield so that it's pointing towards that tile. Okay, so if we're this guy here I want to get rid of, I put the axe there. If it were the middle one, I put it there, etc. Okay, and then simultaneously players will keep their bank private, a secret from everybody throughout the game, but now they will place a number of coins behind the shield in line with the tile in front of it to indicate how much they want to either buy or sell that tile for. Okay, you must have at least 1 coin on the tile, on a tile. Again, this would be done simultaneously. So green player did theirs, the yellow player was doing theirs. Okay, I got it set up so it's already done. I'm only one person. All right, and then you would reveal. Everybody would pull their shields back, revealing what they did. Start off with the axe. This is the next phase. We get rid of all the tokens that we had, the tiles rather, that we had the axe behind. Throwing them back into the draw bag, and we'll shuffle that up for the next round. Okay, and then starting with the first player, they will buy at least 1 tile from another player or pass, like in the base game. So say the green player here, we're going to look over here, and they want to buy this tile here. Okay, from the yellow player, they would take money from their personal bank and give the appropriate amount of money to the player. Okay, and then that player would take the money they had to show the price of the tile and the money given by the other player and put it in their personal supply. And then the player who bought that tile would take it and put it near their player area for now. Okay, now here is one of the differences with the Journeyman expansion. I bought a tile off the yellow player. They can now move their Journeyman token up 1 space on this top track here. I'll get into how this works in a second. All right, but being I bought a tile off them, they can move it 1 space up on this track here, and they would score the appropriate reward down here on the flags and these tiles. I'll get back into them in a second during this new phase. If we go over to the green player here, we have this Journeyman tile on it. Green player bought this tile, so they would also be able to move 1 of these Journeyman tokens here on the player board, these cubes, up 1 space. However, this one's different. They could choose any of these 3 rows here as opposed to just the top row here like the yellow player could do, because a player bought a tile off of them. Okay, so anytime you buy it off of another player or you buy it from, being left over, we'll get into that in a second. It's the next stage of the next phase of the game. You would move your cube up 1 space on the track, any track you want with the Journeyman. All right, just buying off another player's the top track. Okay, and this one continue until everybody bought 1 tile. And then any remaining tiles left, players would buy themselves, basically, placing that money into the bank and then taking the tiles, placing in their play area. This will continue until everybody does that. And then simultaneously, players will place these tiles that they just purchased in their kingdom there, okay? And it abides by the rules of the base game. You got to place, water to water, mountains to mountains, fields to fields. The roads do not have to connect, but it's a good idea if they do. In certain areas, it'll help you out. And again, other players would be doing the same thing. Now, this is where this new phase comes in. This is where this player board for the Journeyman comes in. If we look at it, as I mentioned previously, we have these different tracks. If we look at the board, we can see that the different rows are broken up into colored spaces. We have the Journeyman space, the Merchant, and the Scribe, I believe it was called. Okay, the tracks run in one direction, going left to right across the board. They are split up by these rivers, which you can cross with the bridges. Okay, and that breaks it up into 4 different columns. Okay, well, 5 if we include the starting one. All right, if we look at the end of the rows, like I said, you can only move one way. And when you get to the end of the top one here, it wraps down. This red arrow indicates that it does wrap down and goes down. All right, and then at the bottom of that track, it shows that you can go to the bottom. Once you're at the bottom, you can go back up 1 space to this and then come back down. So in this case, I would go back up to the castle spot here if I wanted to, if I were at the end of the track, and then I could come back down and do this one again. Okay, works the same down here. As you can see, this one has the black arrow, the double-sided arrow going to this spot and this spot. Down here it has one of these ones that kind of goes on a 90 degree, showing the same thing though. You could go from this spot to this spot and vice versa. Okay, now if we look at the spots on the board, the top up here has room for 1 cube, and that's all you can have on this one space at one time is 1 cube. All right, now let's look at the spaces on the board and we'll show what they indicate. Okay, so we can see here we have the whiskey barrels, the sheep, the lighthouses, the cows, the boats, and the scrolls and the brocks, which, are different things in the game that we will be able to score, whether through end game scoring on these scroll tiles here or end round scoring up here. Down here we have a symbol meaning the castle. Okay, and down here we have a symbol meaning the distance of tiles from the castle in order to fulfill that. Okay, so we have 2, 3, and 4. That means we have to be either 2, 3, or 4 tiles away from the castle tile in order to fulfill that. So say I was down here and I wanted to fulfill this one, I would have to be 1, 2 tiles away. All right, now if there was a gap in the tiles, it would work the same. You'd just be 1, 2 tiles away, or say it was like this, be 1, 2, 3 tiles away. All right, next we have these spaces which represent regions, completed regions. All right, if we look here, we have, mountains, water, and grasslands. Okay, if we had a completed grassland, mountain, or water area, and our journeyman went there with these cubes, and I'll get into how they work in a second, then they would be able to fulfill that and move their cube down here on the appropriate one. So this would be grassland if they were at the space prior. Where here it'd be mountains, here it'd be waters. And then the final batch we have is down here. These just indicate you have to be on the furthest tile on your player area as indicated. Okay, so if we're here, the furthest tile north. If we're here, first tile south. Here, east, other one west. Okay, so if I wanted to fulfill this, I would have to be on the furthest tile north I could be. In this case I am, so I can move it up there. Okay, if I were on any of these 3, I could. Okay, now if you complete that, fulfillment to move your journeyman cube along the specific track, you would gain the reward down here indicated by the flag or these bonus tiles. Okay, the flags will give you points indicated here, coins indicated here, or a number of movement for your journeyman, which we'll get back to in a minute. Okay. The temporary ones do a variety of things. One is this one here will give you an extra journeyman cube. This one here will let you move any of your cubes here along a track, one space. This one here will give you a point, and you will be able to take one of these rows from the supply here. Remember, each player can get up to 3 of them depending on what they unlock. This guy here will give you 4 additional movement during your journeyman phase. Again, I'll get into that movement in the journeyman cube and movement thing in a second. This one's simply coin. This one 2 rows. Okay, so that's the 1 and 2 bonus tiles. These are mainly, you use them and you discard them. Okay, except for this, the movement one. This one you can hold on to from round to round, and it's a one-time use, and then you discard it. Alright, whenever you unlock any of these rewards, you cannot use its ability till the end of the phase that you are currently moving the track on. So, these guys here, the number 3s, they work a little differently. These you would place up top in your player area, and you could use the effect at the end of the phase that you collected it onward. Alright, right away you would get 3 victory points for this guy here, but from the time you have, when you collect it onward, during, when you get rid of one of the tiles with the axe, you don't have to do that now, and during income you would gain 3 additional coins every round. This guy here, you get 3 victory points. The victory points are a one-time deal, okay, on all 3 of these. To the left of that is whenever you buy a tile from another player, instead of you paying from your personal supply, the bank now pays that player. This final one here, and it just happens to be in the space, which I didn't mention, that has these double symbols connected there. You have to fulfill both of them in order to collect this reward. So if I were here and I moved up on the track, I could not just collect it then. I'd have to go all the way over here to collect it. Okay. But this one here is you get 3 points right away. Okay. And then you're allowed to buy an additional tile from a player once every player has went around and bought a tile during that phase. And if you have this guy here that the bank pays when you buy a tile, it will take effect there. Instead of you paying the player will get paid by the bank. You would keep your own money. Okay, so that is all of the bonuses on there. Now, as you can see, like I said, these things will be moving to the left. If you pass a spot with victory points on it, then you would get the victory points. If you pass a spot with money on it, as in the case here, you would have to pay the money in order to be able to move across that bridge. All right, so even if I were here, I could fulfill this being 2 tiles away from the castle here. If I did not have 5 coins to do it, I could not do it. All right, and then these guys up here, like I said, you would gain 4 coins right from the bank. These guys will add movement to your speed here, and we'll get into that right now. All right, so now we're going to get into the journeyman phase. We will start off with 2 of these journeyman cubes, which represent a goal we're trying to reach with the journeyman. All right, as I said, these tracks will be moving to the left throughout the game, and we start off with 2 of these journeyman tokens, the cubes to start with. All right, so in order to fulfill this, the player will want to go to a tile with a whisker barrel on it. So they would place one of their journeyman cubes on a tile with the whiskey barrel on it, or the ship, or whatever it is that they're trying to fulfill. Okay, then they could place another token if they have them to fulfill another requirement of their board. All right, so say we're gonna go with this one here. All right, we'll place it there. Now you cannot have 2 of these cubes on the same tile, but you could have one of these cubes on a tile that your journeyman is starting off with. All right, so now we did that. We placed where we want to go. The journeyman will now be able to move from tile to tile to try and get to these destinations. There's some rules with this. The journeyman can only move the number of spaces that they have unlocked. Okay, to start off, if we look down here, the journeyman would be able to move 4 spaces indicated by this, boot symbols with the 4 on it. Okay, so if he were here to start off with, we'd be able to move 4 spaces. If he unlocked this later on, he'd be able to move 5, 7, 8, and so on. But he can move up to 4 movement points for now. All right, now if we look at the board here, we can see that we have roads going from one tile, connecting to a road on another tile. To move from that spot to another tile connected by a road would be 1 movement point. If we look over here, this tile is not connected to this tile by a road. That would cost 2 movement points. So it'd be 1, 2. So with a road, costs 1 movement point per tile. Without a road, costs 2 movement points per tile to go on and off. We got to set up here where this journeyman wants to go over here to collect for the whiskey barrel, moving up here, and then he wants to come down here, going to the furthest southernmost tile. We would go 1 here because it's connected to the road. Collect the coin, the token, put it back in our player area, and move the appropriate cube on the track that we want to go. All right, then we'll say 1, 2, get back here. Now remember, they already used 1, so we're adding 2 more. That gives them 3. They made it here, so they can collect the reward. They would go from here to here. And then they would collect 4 victory points because they crossed the threshold with the symbol on it. If they had their 3rd cube out there somewhere, they would do the same thing. And again, players are doing it simultaneously. All right. Now, if we fulfill one of these requirements and we start it on a tile with one of these cubes placed on it, it would fulfill it as soon as you start the movement of the journeyman phase thing. All right. So say I was over here. I want to fulfill this. I'm in that phase. I place the cubes here. Now I'm going to move it, to try and go to the destinations. I'm already there, so I already did it. And collect the cube, move the track, and then collect the reward. Down here we have this castle symbol, which means, you have to reach the castle with the cube on it, or if you start the phase off with the cube on the castle, that movement of the journeyman phase, then you would collect it right away. All right, so now say you are stuck and you cannot fulfill one of these, but you want to move your track up, or you just want to pay for it, which you can do. To do that, you would place a cube on the castle, and then when you reach the destination, you could come up here instead and pay for the journeyman to move, as long as we can pay the money. Okay, so if we look at here in this column, it would cost 1 coin. Here's 3, 5, and 8. All right, so we would simply take our cube back, pay the price to the bank, depending on where we're at, and then move a cube up accordingly. Now, a rule for this advanced via the castle thing is you cannot buy a feature that would involve the castle itself. Say the green player here is setting up for their journeyman phase. Okay, as an option, they could place a cube at the castle and then purchase a spot on the track, depending on where they're at. The first column here, $1, $3, $5, etc. All right, so say they want to go from here to here. Now, this feature here involves the castle. You gotta be 2 spaces away. All right. Like I said, normally you could place a cube here and then buy it, but because this involves the castle, you cannot buy it. It's a rule. You cannot buy the move up on the track if it involves the castle. All right, so even though he would have the money, he could not purchase it because this rule involves the castle. All right, so that is how you upgrade with the castle. Okay, now when placing these cubes, you want to place them so that you have enough movement points to actually reach them. Okay, if we look here, this guy is just out of reach of our journeyman because he only has 4 points of movement. Okay, we go 1, 2, 3 because we're on the road, but then we got 4, 5 to get to this one. You can't reach it. If this happens, you would simply not move your journeyman and take the cube back, losing all of the movement points that you would have used to do that. All right. So say the journeyman moved here for 1 point and collected this. He could not reach this because it's too far. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. He would just lose the other 3 of the 4 points he has because he can't make it the extra 4 points to get there. Now, if you do have enough movement points, you can go from one tile, collect the cube, and then come back and collect the cube that you passed, okay? Depending on the order of how you want to collect the cubes to fulfill the requirements of your board and what you're doing. Now, as a free action, if a player has unlocked these roads, they could place that road at any time. Like I said, most of these spots on the track can only be used once as you're moving to the right, except for these ones at the end, which you can go back and forth to. So let's look at the yellow player here. If she were 4 tiles away from the castle, all right, and her guy was all the way down here, she could score that if she moved to the castle. And she had a cube on it. Okay, and then if she had enough movement points to go back to the castle, she could come back up, scoring another 10 points. She would score 3 on the way down, and then 13 on the way up, because she scored the 10 additional points here. And then next round, or if she had enough cubes to do it on another spot, let's say she unlocked her 3rd guy here, and she could get to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 4 away. Then she could come back down, score it, and then back and forth. As I said, players are doing this simultaneously. Once everybody's done that, they will go to the end of round scoring. If we look up here at the scoreboard, we have 4 end round scoring tiles, and these are for the Journeyman expansion specifically. All 4 of them that come in the game. The round marker is down here, and the round spot is above a flag. The flags correspond to which of these tiles you are going to use, which correlate to the flag above them. All right, so we're in the second round here. We will score for just the B tile. If we were in this round here, the third round, we'd score A and C. Last round on this side, we would score D, B, and C. All right, now let's get into the end of round tiles here. These are all from the expansion, okay? The first one here is for every block you have, you get 1 point, okay? And you can either say 1 in a row or a column, all right? So for every block you have in a row or a column, you get 1 point, all right? So let's take a look down here at the yellow player. She has a block here. She would get 1 point going this way and 1 point going this way, okay? This block here gets a point going this way. Shares it with that one. Okay, this block here will get a point going this way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one would get a point going this way for 5 points, and yellow player would get 5 points for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and then other players would follow suit, doing the same thing. This one here, we have we get 2 points if we have at least 2 of the same symbol going in a row, just a row, not a column and a row, just a row. And a tile with multiple animals or whatnot on it only counts as one of those symbols, okay? You can't use those to collect points all three ways. Like if you had a tile with 2 sheep on it, you couldn't use that to gain the points. You would have to split them up between 2 different tiles. All right, so if we come down here, we have 2 whiskey barrels, that's 2 points. We have 2 ranches, that's another 2 points for 4 points. We have 2 lighthouses, that's another 2 points for 6 points. Come down there, we got at least 2 boats, that's 8 points. 2 blocks, that's 10 points. If we come down here, we have 2 journeymen, and they are included in this, so that's another 2 points. And I think that's it, and I believe I said 12 points, so they would get 12 points. Going on to this guy here, you will get 2 points for every tile You are away from the castle, but you have to pick the shortest distance to the castle in order to collect these. Okay, so here will be 2, 4, 6, 8 points. Okay, I can't go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. Okay, it's got to be the most direct, shortest route. Last one here is you get 1 point for every bridge you cross. So if we look down at the player boards, there's these bridges. We get 1 point. All right, if we got all of our tracks across to the very last column, we would get 12 points. Okay, but in this case, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. You'll give the players the appropriate points. Score accordingly to the tiles, however they're arranged, whatever the configuration is, depending on the round you're in. And you would move on to the next round. Now, starting from the third round onward, each player that is behind the player in the lead will gain a number of coins depending on the round. In the third round, it would be 1 coin. So the green player would get 1 coin from the bank, place it in their supply. If there were other players, whoever else was behind the first player would also get the same, 1 coin. Next round, we got 2 coins, 3, and 4 coins in the last round on this side of the board. Everybody else would do the same thing, whoever's not in the lead. Okay, that would continue to the 6th round. And final round on this side, or the 5th round on the other side if you're playing with 5 players. And then you would do a final score, which means you would add up your points for whatever the scroll value is. If we look here, the yellow player has 2 scrolls. They have one that'll give them 1 point for every 2 ships and 1 for every lighthouse they have. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 ships. We'll give them 2 points. And we have one lighthouse, which would give them another point for a total of 3 points. Now, if we see here, if that feature is in a completed landscape, as in the case here, you get double that. So for this one here, instead of getting 1 point for this lighthouse, the yellow player will get 2 because it's in a completed water section area. I give her an additional point. All right. Same thing down here. If it was in a completed rock area, if that were completed, or field, they get double the points. All right. Then for every 5 coins, you would get a point, and whoever has the most points wins the game. If there's a tied, whoever has the most coin between those 2 players, or whoever is tied, will win the game. And that is almost the end. I forgot. Anytime you pay a 0 after the first time, you get one of these 50 or 100 point markers, depending on how many points you actually have. First time you get the 50, and then the second time you get the 100, obviously. And that is how you play the game of Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion. Alright, let's play Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion. I will be going first. I am the green player, Jen is the yellow player. Keeps me stoner brain in check. Visually thing. Okay. Green will be playing me first. Simultaneously, we do the income phase. Alright, so we all get 5 coins because that's what we get from the castle. So 1, 2, 3, and 2. Jen will get the same. Again, this will be done simultaneously. And our income will be kept private from other players. During a 2-player game, we usually use 2 of these shields in place. Our income behind one, and then our other tiles, the tiles in front of the other one. For this, I will not be using the shields. Just makes it a little easier. Alright, but if we look at the back of the shield, we just did the income phase. Okay, and then we're going to go into the next phase, which is we will draw 3 tiles, starting with the first player, and then place them in front of our shield. Again, I'm not going to use the shield, but we'll place them face up in our player area there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Jen would do the same. Alright, next we want to axe one of these tiles, and this will be done simultaneously behind the screen. Let's see, what do I want to keep here? I have nothing to give me any income. If we look up the tiles, we're going to get 2 points this scoring round. For, every tile we are furthest away from our castle. That's not going to really help us because we're only going to be able to place 2 tiles. But next we got the brocks. There's a couple brocks. This we don't have to worry about for a while. And there's brocks in there. Yeah, we could score with the symbol for the Brocs or the Brocs themselves. So we're going to keep the 2 with the Brocs. I'm going to axe this one. All right, Jen, she has income. She's going to keep that one. There's a Brock. She doesn't really need this for now. She'll axe this one. All right, next we're going to put down coin to show how much we want to either spend or get paid for that tile. All right, so we know these are going to be placed throughout the game. We have to place at least 1 coin on a tile. All right, so we'll do that. We'll keep a couple for to buy with. I will be the first player, so it's a little tighter with money on the first round being the first player. But Jen has a little bit more to play. She could use all of her money if she wanted to, or she could pass, if she didn't have any money. But she's going to get some money from me. So she knows she's probably going to get a buck or 2 from me. So she'll, she knows I want income. So she'll charge 3 for that, 1 for that. You know what? She'll go 2 for that. She's going to make it expensive. And then we would reveal our shields and get rid of the ones we axed, placing them back in the draw bag, shuffling them up for the next round. And then starting with the first player, we would buy a tile. Okay, so I can't afford this one. I can afford this one. Now I could choose to buy it or I could pass. Doesn't have a Journeyman symbol on it, so it's. I really wish I could get that one, but I can't. All right, so I will buy this one because of the Brocs. All right, so I would give Jen 2 coins from my supply. Remember, this was separate. She would take that, put it in her supply. I would take the tile, place it in my area, and play would go on to the next player. So Jen could choose to either buy one or pass. You know what? She'll go for the cheap one with the Brock. And I would take that, put it in my play area. Jen will put that in her play area. And then the other tiles would get bought going to the bank. But because I bought a tile off of Jen and she bought a tile off of me, she can move. We can both move this cube on the first piece of the Journeyman track 1 spot. If we had bought a tile with the Journeyman on it, then we can move any of our tracks 1 spot. So now this goes to the bank. And we collect our tiles and now we place it. And again, it's according to the laws of placement, mountain to mountain, water to water, field to field. Roads doesn't matter. Okay, the road can end into a water if this was legal, if this was water, or whatever. Here we go. This one's legal here. This mountain could run into this, but the road doesn't have to connect. All right, but for scoring, we want to try and go this way or this way, row or column because of these guys. I could actually do that, but I won't score it in the next round, which is coming up. So I think what I'll do is I'll flip it around like this. We'll place it here. Okay, Jen will be doing this simultaneously. Let's see, he's gonna go this way. Okay, now we go into the Journeyman phase of it, what I call. What we're trying to do is place these destination cubes on our tiles to try and fulfill one of these requirements. So let's go over to the green player first. And again, this will be done simultaneously. But I'm only one person. All right, so I want to get a sheep. I could do that. All right, it'll be 1, 2, 3 points of movement. I start off with 4. Okay, 1 point from a road, 2 points where a road ends. So I could do the sheep one and then I'll get a victory point. I don't have any boats. No. I don't have any farms, so this is the only one I can do. So I will place it here and get to the sheep. I can't get to any Brocs. But what I will do, I got a coin here. I will do the castle. What do they call this? specifically advancing via the castle. Okay, so I'll place it there and advance via the castle. I'll go over to Jen and then we'll, finish this off. All right, so Jen, she's going to come here for the boat, definitely. Move her up. And unfortunately, the next one here would be a completed mountain area. But this is a completed mountain area, but you can't have two cubes on one spot, so that will not help her. So let's see what else. She doesn't have any sheep. She doesn't have any farms. But what she could do is the same thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go here and advance. All right, so now we would resolve our journeyman. We move them. Remember, we start off with 4 movement points. So first, we got the green player here. Since he's going to start here with the castle, he's going to buy a movement on the track. So it costs 1 coin, goes to the bank. And he could choose any of these he wants to move. So I think what he's going to do is going to move this. If he had a couple more movement points, just 2, I think, it was all you need. He could actually go there and then come back and move this one up again if he so choose to. But unfortunately, he can't do that. So yeah, he'll move this one, take his guy back, and then move to this one. So 1, 2, 3 movement points, and we collect this one. We lose the last movement point because we got both of our guys back. But we did this so we could move this track up here, and we would gain 1 victory point at the end of the phase. And I'm going to do that now before I forget. All right. And again, any reward you get, they take effect at the end of the phase that you are currently doing it in. Like this guy here, I unlocked it, but I couldn't use it this round. I'd have to wait this phase. I'd have to wait till the next phase. Over to Jen. All right. So let's see, Jen. She is going to do the same thing. She's going to spend 1 coin and take this guy back. And she will move. What was I going to move? The ship one. Okay. Now she can get the 5th movement point. She's got to wait to the end of the phase. All right. So now she's going to move 1, 2, and here. I changed my strategy. Well, you weren't paying attention. She's going to collect for the mountain instead, moving this guy up here instead of using that first. Okay, so now she fulfills that. She gets 2 coins because it is the end of the phase, and a 5th movement point at the next round for the journeyman phase. All right, so we both did that. We scored accordingly. Yes, you got coins, I got points. Everybody's doing it simultaneously. When everybody's done, you go to the end of round scoring. And in this case here, we're going to go with the A flag. So it'll be 2 points for every tile you are away from the castle, but you got to choose the closest route. In this case, I am only 2, 4 away. Multiply that by 2, give us 8. Okay, so 9 points for me. Jen is 2 away. Multiply that by 2, give her 4 points. That's the end of the round. We move the marker up. Okay, and we give the first player marker to the next first player. And we go into our income phase. So let's see here. Green player gets 5. Jen here will get 6. Alright, we each get 3 tiles face up. Okay, now we choose the axe one. I'll axe this one because either way, Jen's going to get income, and I can either way. Then we set our prices. I'll go like that. So we would reveal Jen's the first player. Well, we would axe these guys. Jen's the first player, so she'll be able to buy something. Let's see. What would Jen? Jen wants... she would want something to score. And, but I think the Brock's, more. Oh, no, it's not. She's got 2 out, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, I think a Brock. So she'll spend 3 on the Brocks. So I would get all this money. That would go to her, and then I would buy one off for her. So I got $5. What's more important for me? I'm going to say the sheep with the whiskey barrel. I need some income. So Jen would get all this money. We get this tile. Now we each bought a tile off each other. So this track goes up. Jen gets a point. Again, it'll be at the end of phase, but I'm going to forget. And I unlock this guy. Okay, so now I have 3 destination cubes to go to. Discarding that tile from the game. The bank buys this and this. Neither one had a Journeyman on it, so we don't get anything for that. Now we place it. So I'll start with Jen. And again, this is simultaneously. That's the last time I'm going to say that. Alright, you know what? She needs the income for now. Alright, so she'll place it like that. Alright, so now we place our Journeyman destination things. Alright, so Jen's got 2. Maybe she wants to get the lighthouse. This will give her an extra movement on the track. She could go to a ranch, so that's 1. Oh, it's a shame the ranch is in another spot. She doesn't have any lighthouses. And she doesn't have any sheep, does she? No. Alright, so what she will do is she'll place it here to pay for it. Alright, over to me. I got 3 unlocked to me. I got 1 with a cow, so that'll get me over there. I'm on a spot. Oh, no, it's not. But this one, the mountain is enclosed. So I go over there and get some money. I don't have any ranches, do I? But I will pay to move down here. Although, I could come over here. You know what? That's what I'll do. Because I'll be able to move it. Alright, so then I will place it here. Do I have enough movement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got enough. I got 5. Plenty of movement. Alright, so then we resolve that. Alright, let's do Jen first. She's going to go 1, 2, 3 for the farm. Okay. And then she's going to come down here for 4. Which is all, well, she got 5 movement. And she was going to bump the lighthouse, paying $1 to the bank, unlocking 2 coins. I'm sorry, unlocking this guy here, which we will use at the end of the phase. Okay. And then what I was going to do? I was going to go from here for 1. Do this to complete this, which will give me 2 coins. Go back for 2 movement points. Wait, come down here for 2 movement points, which will give me over here and 2 points. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. To come back here and grab this guy here. Alright, now we go into the end of round scoring. Alright, so if we look here, we get 2 points for every row that has at least 2 columns. Or 2 symbols in that row, rather. Okay? Not the columns, the rows. So we got 3 procs here. It has at least 2 of them. We get 2 points for that. I didn't place the whiskey barrel, so we get 2 points. Over here, I got 2 Brocks, and I have 2 sheep. Now, there's 2 sheep on this one tile. It only counts as 1 sheep, so I get 4 points. 2, 4. So that's the end of the round, and we both have these Journeymen here where we can move up. And being it's the end of the Journeyman phase where we collected them, we can use them now if we want to. And I think I'm going to move up here. Discard that. Jen will hold off. Alright, so we go into the income phase. Alright, first We move the round marker. All right, so it's the third round. Jen is behind me. So she gets a coin. I'll get the first player marker. Now we go into the income phase. So I get 5 because my roads do not connect yet. And Jen gets 7. Now we draw the tiles and place them. All right, we give one the axe. This one, because she knows I need income. All right, then we price them. All right, so I'm the first player. I got to save some in reserve. All right, so she'll go 5 and 3. Because she knows she's getting some more money. All right, so now we go into the buying of the tile, the axing of the tiles, and then buying them. So these two get axed. And then on the first player, I would buy one of Jen's. Let's see. I do want that one, actually. All right, so Jen gets all my monies. I get the tile. Jen will buy, either way, she get a Journeyman. You know what, she will buy the ranch. All right, so I get $3 from her. Okay, now we both bought a tile off each other, so we can move this up one space. Jen bought a Journeyman tile, a tile with a Journeyman on it, so she could choose any of the tracks she wants to. And so can I in a minute, because I'm going to buy one. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so now we buy what's left, and the rest goes to the bank. All right, now we each bought a tile with a Journeyman on it, so we could choose any of these tracks to move. All right, so let me see. I don't know what this tile is from. Yeah, I have no idea where I must not have thrown it back at some point. All right. We both bought a tile with a Journeyman on it, so now we can move any of our tracks. Let's see. I will move here, gaining me this, which gives me a road. And a victory point. And because I crossed a threshold with the 2 on it, I get another victory point. Let's see what Jen will do. Jen, she's going to do the same thing so she could get this guy. Okay, and she gets 2 victory points for going over that threshold. 1, 2. Now, technically, this is the placing of the tile, so she can use this at the end of this phase. As can I. I can place this road at the end of this phase. I discard that. Wait for a trade. Alright, so Jen will use this guy here to move one of her markers up. She's going to use this one. Grabbing this, which will give her a point, and a road, which she can use after, this phase. She can use now that it was after the phase she got it in. Alright, so we're going to place these guys. Alright, so Jen... hold on, I want to do it like this. Alright, Jen will put that one there, and this one, she'll go like this, I guess. I will place that. I cheated. I think I counted this. I shouldn't have. She only got 5. Alright. This guy here. Okay, now we go into the Journeyman phase. So I got 3 to play with. Jen has 3 also. I have 5 movement points now. So what I want to do, we're scoring bridges. So I want to get over these 2 bridges if I can. I got $5 here. Where's my castle? Oh, I could do that one right away. So 1, 2. This one I have to be 2 away and have $5. That'll be all my money, but I think it'll be worth it. So I'll start off with that one. Then I have to go to a scroll for this one, and then a Brock. I don't have any lakes completed anyway, so I'll do this one, these 2 there. Alright, let's see what Jen will do. Jen will... She wants to pass this one. She has to go to a place with water. So there's that. She could get 2 away from the castle. She's going to place her road. I guess going here. All right, well, she has 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She will have enough to get there. So that'll fulfill this one. And this one. And she could place this one here to move up, or she could purchase one. Yeah, no. She'll place it here. To purchase that one. Yeah, I can't do this with the castle. I can't do this one because it involves a castle. So I couldn't buy it and then move this one up. And then move. It doesn't make sense to waste the money because I'm going to do these 2 anyway. So she's only going to put 2 out. Okay. Alright, so now we fulfill this. I'll start with me. So, what was I going to do? Okay. There was an order I had to do this in. What was it? I couldn't go in any order. I'm 2 away from the castle. That's what it was. So, boom. I spent all my money to go here. Okay, and that gives me 2 points. Okay, and then 1, 2 to get here, which will give me this, which will give me 4 additional movement, starting with the next phase. If I choose to use it then. Alright, and then I come back up for this, which was for what? Oh, up here. The Brock. Okay, over to Jen. So Jen, what was she going to do? She's going to come up here. 1, 2, 3. Get this one here. And then 4, 5 for this one here, which was this guy here. And she gets 4 coin. She'll start off with this one the next time. I couldn't place 2 on that tile. That's why I didn't. Alright, or this one. Although I could have done it up here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take that back. She's going to put one out here too. So she'd collect that before she got these 2. Alright, which will be able to let her move this one. So she'd be here 2 tiles away. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's the shortest. Alright. She would pay $5. Which she had. That's the only reason I took that back. And then take that back. And then she continue on here for the boat. And then here for the water. Okay. And I gave her 2 points, I think. Don't remember. I'll do it anyway, in case I forgot 1, 2. I don't think I did, because I just did that. That's it. And scoring. I think I got everything right. Changed my mind on a few things. Sorry. Alright, so we're doing A and C. A is furthest away times 2, so 2 times 2 is 4 points for me. 2, 4. Over to Jen. Jen is 2, 4, 6, which would be 12. So 2. And we are tied. Alright. Then we go over to C, which is 1 point for each bridge we cross. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for me. Jen gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 also. This brings us up to 30. Okay. I stand around. We move up. Since we're tied, nobody gets the extra coinage. First player marker goes over to Jennifer. And we start the next round with the income phase. Alright, so Jen gets 1, 2, 3, plus the 5 for 7. Come over to me. I get 1. You know what? I'm gonna. No, it won't matter. I'm gonna place this though to eventually. No, it makes sense to do it here. I'm gonna place this road to connect these 2. But regardless, I get 6 coins. Alright, then we draw. Alright, and then we axe and price. 2, 4. She doesn't remember how much money I have, but she knows I don't have enough. Alright, over to me. Now Jen's buying first. So I think I will spend all my money, but what am I going to ask? What would Jen need? I'm going to go 3 and 3. Alright. Okay, then we go into buying. Jen's first. So, well, Yak's the first. Then we go into the buying. So Jen's first. What does Jen want to buy? Let's see, we're doing A and D. So symbols and Brock. She wants the Brock one. Alright, so she'll pay for the one with the Brock. Giving me all the monies. And I get to move my Journeyman up a spot. Now it's my turn to buy. I got $6. I could buy any of them. Income would be nice. I want sheep for the scoring. Yeah. Alright, so I give Jen $3 and take this guy, and then these go into the bank. I bought one off of Jen, so hers goes up 1 on the spot. She gets $5. Okay, and then we place them. Alright, she'll put this here. That would make sense to do this, wouldn't it? Yeah, get the rose next. Alright, now we place our Journeyman cubes. Alright, let's see, Jen. She needs a Brock. Southernmost point, so she wants to get back here eventually. She doesn't have anything with the scroll, so she'll probably bump that up. She could start this one here. So let's see, she's got 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can make it back, but she can't make it here. Alright, so if she makes it back, she could buy one. She can't go to the southernmost, but she could boost that up. Start off on the Brock. Is there another way she could do this? Let me see. This one here, get her a Brock. This one here, get her that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. She needs one more point of movement. Alright. But she could get the Brock, and then she'll hit the whiskey barrel on the way back. I want to try and get down here so I could get 4 points. Alright, let's see what I'm going to do. Alright, so I need a farm. The southernmost point. A farm. A lake with water. And a scroll. Oh. I can't get the scroll because I need to do the lake there. Alright. But I could do this. I could go home to the castle. Bump that up to the scroll. Or no, bump it up to the lake. And then the scroll. Which will give me some coinage and some movement. And then get down here and get some points. That's what I'm going to do. Sounds like a plan, Stan. Alright, so now we resolved it. We'll start with Jen. So, Jen gets this right away. Gives her 3 points. Okay, then she's going to move 1, 2, 3 to grab this guy here. 4, and then she's going to buy this scroll here for, what are we at? $3. Okay, that takes care of Jen. Over to me. Alright, what was I going to do here? I was going to go home. Spend $1. Spend $3. All my money's gonna come up here, and I get $4. Okay, then move 2, 3. Collect this one, which would give me the scroll, and then a 4, 5, which would move this, giving me 4 points. Alright, so we go into the end round scoring. We are doing B and D, so we are looking for symbols and the Brocks. We'll start with Jen. So we got the symbols. We have 2 points because we have more than 2 Brocks. We got 2 points for the barrels, so that's 4. The ships, that's 6. Up here, we got 8 for them. 12. Or 10 rather, for these two. And, I believe, oh no, we got these two. So 12 points for Jen. 245. Okay, and then we'll go over to me, and then we'll get back to the detail. All right, so me 2. 4, 6, 8. That's it, 8. All right, now the detail. Let's see. Jen will get 2, 4, 6, 8 points for this one. All right, so we got 2, 4, and then we got 6, 8, 10 points. Okay, 10 points. All right, and I will get 2, 4, 6 points. Now Jen passed the zeros, so she gets this handy dandy 50 plus marker. All right, that's the end of the round. We go up on the round marker. I am behind Jen, so I get 3 coin and the first player marker. All right, and then we move on to the next round. All right, so income 1, $6. Jen gets 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the castle, $9. All right, then we draw in place and axe and bid. Okay, so we placed, axed, and placed our coins down. We're gonna axe these guys here. And then I'm the first player. I will buy first. We got $5. So let's see. I can't buy this one, Jen. Too much. No, I can't buy that one. Yeah. You know what? I'll buy it. I could pass and save some money, but I'll buy it. So Jen gets all that. I'll take this. Jen's turn to buy. Jen will buy. I think she'll buy this one. So $4. She gives me $4. She takes this. These go back to the bank. Okay, we each move up on our Journeyman track because we bought a tile off each other, and we each get 5 points. And now I get the 50 plus. Neither one of us had a Journeyman, so we don't have to worry about that. A Journeyman tile. Now we place them. All right, place them. Now we do the Journeyman thing. I'll start with me. So, all right, I'm going to do this for the sheep, like I said. All right, so get the ranch. Got 7 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will be able to get there. Ranch, and then a grasscape. A completed grass area. I can't do that. I don't have. I have enough. Could just get to a light. I don't have any lighthouses, do I? Nope, no lighthouses. Alright, I'll go here. Get over the bridge. One of these 2 bridges. Alright, let's see what Jen's going to do. Sheep's all the way down here. And then a lighthouse. So she could do that. Sheep and then lighthouse. That'll get her over a bridge. could do this one here on the way down, which will get her to another bridge. Let me think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's the same tile. She can't cross that bridge. That sucks. Alright. So, she'll pay for one, and then go on. Alright. Now let's resolve it. We're going to start with Jen. Now we'll start with me, first player. I was going to do this for the sheep, which will give me this, which will give me 3 points automatically. 1, 2, 3. And now I don't have to pay for a tile. Okay. When I buy one from another player. Take this guy back. Then move 1, 2, 3. Why did I want to come here? That's the ranch. That'll get me there. Lighthouse. That's what it was. I want to push me above the bridge, so I will pay $5. And it'll bump me over the bridge. Okay, and then go up here to ranch, which will give me $5. And that's it. Back to Jen. Jen will start off here and pay $5 for something. What was it? The sheep? Yeah, the sheep. Then she will move 1 for the ranch, getting 2 roads at the end of the phase, which is the remaining of her 3 roads. Just going to do it now so I don't forget. Alright, and then take that back. We come down. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the lighthouse. Right, that's the one I was going to do. Yeah, I bumped that. Or no, wait, is it? 4 points as opposed to 1 point. No, I'm not going to take the lighthouse. I'm going to do this. The furthest most tile. It'll get me more points. So, that's 4 points for crossing that threshold. I knew there was points in there somewhere. Alright, so that's the end of that. And scoring. We'll start with me. Alright, so what do we got here? A, B, A, D, A, C, and D. A. Alright, so 4 points. 2, 4. C is the bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points. 5 and 8. And D is the Brox. So 1, 2, 3 points still over the Jen. Same thing. So 2, 4, 6, 12 points. The bridges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. 2, 4, 6, and then the Brox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Okay, and then Jen gets the first player marker. We move over 1 round mark. I get $4 because I am behind quite a bit. Let's start with income. All right, so Jen, 1, 2, 3, 4, $9. Or actually, you know what? If she wanted to, what she could do, she's going to place this road here, which will connect these tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 for $10. Over to me. So I get, what do I get? I get 6, right? Yep. 6. Now we draw, place, X, and bid. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to X these guys. It's the last round, so we don't have to worry about shuffling them in there. Alright, Jen's up first. She's going to buy, as you can see. Great player plays all his money, so he's counting on her buying something. So let's see. Jen really needs this, and that is what she's going to buy. But she needs something for end scoring. So that was $10. Green player's gamble, bet it off. No, that he has this, which the bank pays for when he buys from another player. But she takes this, and we bump up on the track. All right, green player. He'll buy it. It's not costing him nothing. So B, C, and D. So the symbols. Let's see. What can I match? The boat. I'll buy the boat. So Jen gets that plus 6 from the bank because, again, of this tile. Okay. This goes back to the bank. Okay, I think I gotta bump Jen up. Yeah, so Jen will get 7 points. Because it was the end of the buying phase. Alright, alright, place our Journeyman. Let me see, Jen wants to go to a boat. So there's one there. Completed grassland. Oh, she's gotta go all the way up here. Can she do it? Let's place our road first. I'll place this road here. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's got 7 movement points, so she can make it there. Let's bring her up to here. 6. This doesn't matter. I'll just get her more points though, does it? Or more movement points. I don't have to worry about that. It will score over the bridge though. So I think I want to do that. Alright. What do we need? A lighthouse. We're on a lighthouse. We can start that. Alright. I'd rather get the points. Oh wait. Maybe she could do this. If we start here, she'll bump the lighthouse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7 would bring her here. 7, which would get her 3 away, right? 1, 2, 3, yes. Alright, I think that's what she's gonna do. So we're gonna complete her now. That'll please me. Hold on. Alright, let me see. Let's start off with the cow to get 7 points. Don't have any lighthouses, right? Nope, that ain't gonna help me. Okay, if I go here, I could complete that. I could bump the lighthouse. Alright, so I'll go here to move here, get 7 points. I'll move here and make a wish to get up here. Alright. Yeah. And then I'll go here. 1, 2, 3. I'll go here. I got plenty of movement. Alright. Let's resolve this, starting with Jen. Alright, so let's see. What was Jen going to do? She was going to get the lighthouse. Alright. And she's going to move up here to get the boat. Alright. Yep. Okay. So that's 1. Movement, 2 movement, 3 movement, 4 movement, 5 movement, 6 movement, 7 movement, 8 movement. She didn't have enough, did she? No. Okay, give me a second here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah! She's got to be 3 tiles away. Alright, let me rethink this. What did I do? I did this and this. She needs a lighthouse to get over that. Right, yeah. It should be 3 away. Alright, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to move that to here. What should that be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's what she's going to do. Alright, she's going to go 1. Get this. Bump this guy up. Why? I don't remember. And she's going to move 2, 3. She's going to spend $5 or $3 here to bump this guy up. Okay. And she's going to come back down. 4, 5, 6. And she is 3 away. So she will pay $8. Giving her 2 back. And get 4 victory points. 4. And she crossed the 0, so she flips it over to 100. She's at 101 points. Alright. That's the end of Jen. Goes over to me. Alright, let me see here now. I am going to collect this to go over to the cow and get 7 points. So 2, 4, 6, 7. Alright, then I'm going to move down here. I'm going to spend $3 and move this to here. Then I'm going to move. Well, I would grab this too. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Crossing that, paying $8. And whoops. And getting 4 points. 2, 4. That's the end of the Journeyman phase. Now we go into the final scoring of the final round of the game. Alright, so we're scoring B, C, and D. We'll start with Jen. B is the symbols. So let's see, we'll start up here with the cows. Nope. Right, but we got 2 for this, 2 for this, 2 for this. Okay, so 2, 4, 6 points. Here we go. We got 2 more, 8 points, 10 points, 12 points. Come down here. Nope. 12 points. Let me double check that. 12 points for Jen. Okay, now me for the B tile. So 2, 4, 6. That's it for that one. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 points for me. Alright, now we're going to score the C tile, starting with Jen. Alright, so the C tile is the bridges you cross. So Jen's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She gets 9 points. 1, 2. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 also. So 2 brings me over 100. Okay, and finally we go on to the D tile, and we'll start with Jen. So it just got 2, 4, 6, 8, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 points. Okay, so 2, 4, 10. Okay, back to me. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. Okay, so that is the final round scoring for the final round. Now we're going to go into the end scoring of the game. All right, we'll start off with Jen because she's the first player. All right. So if we look here, we will get victory points for everything that is in a scroll. Okay, so in this Jen's case, she'll get 1 victory point for each ranch. My case, I'll get 1 victory point for every 2 sheep. And if it is in a region that is completed, you will get double the point. All right, so we'll go to Jen first. Jen has 1, 2, 3 ranches, and none of them are completed, unfortunately. All right, so Jen gets 3 points. Come over to me. I got 1, 2. There's 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Do I have another sheepy? Nope. 3 points. And again, none of them are completed features, so I get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. We get 1 point for every 5 coin. So I get 1 point, and Jen gets no points. Okay, so that's it. I think I scored everything correctly. I'm not sure. If not, I'll make notations. Jen won 139 to 121. If it had been a tie, then whoever had the most coin would win the game. So that is how you play Isle of Skye with the Journey expansion. Stay tuned for what me thinks. Alright, so that was Isle of Skye with the Journeyman expansion. It's a few days later. I forgot one little rule, that castle buying thing. Put that in there. And I want to get Jen's opinion on the game. I wanted to play it a couple more times with her with the expansion. So, overall, I think I like it. I don't know how much I like it. So, Isle of Skye, I wouldn't consider it a gateway game. Maybe a step above that. This variable scoring thing, that gets new players, especially if they're new to the hobby and they never played a game like this. The expansion, the Journeyman expansion with this board, adds a lot of complexity and time to what was basically, a quick, not necessarily filler, maybe a filler. I mean, what was the time on the base game? 60 minutes. All right, so maybe not quite a filler game, but it was a lighter weight, auction game, bidding game, rather. This added a lot more planning and thinkiness to it, which I think is cool. It makes the game more complex, and, if you get sick of the old style, you could add this on, and it changes almost the whole game to an extent. It's I got a feeling when Pfister made this expansion was included in the base game, and they took it out to simplify the game to sell more copies of it, which makes sense, to make it more accessible to people. That's my feelings. I could be wrong. I don't know how he works. I never met the guy, but I believe that's what it was. He dummied the game down to introduce it to people, and then brought this back on later as more complexity. I like this edition. Jen does too. But like I said, it kind of changes the whole game, which in one sense is cool, but in another it's diverting from what I think it originally was. Getting this, it does allow for more opportunities to score. What I found in a 2-player game, which is mainly how I played Isle of Skye or the expansion. The expansion, definitely, it's all I played was 2-player game. But the base game I played mainly 2-player. I think I played with 4 and 5 players once with the 5-player. What I found, especially in 2-player games, there's a runaway player. It's just chance, happenstance with what you draw and place and stuff like that. But usually, I'm going to say more than 60% of the time, there's a runaway player. Okay, this eliminates that to an extent. Players could score more depending on how they plan on this board, and again, the luck of the draw does play into that. But they can mitigate that with placing a cube on a sheep or whatever, and it'll score 2 or 3 points or whatever. If you're in the puzzly stuff, which I am, this adds more of that to the game, which is really cool. Like I said, if you're getting into it for the first time, I'd leave this out. Play with the base game, or with the Druids expansion, which I'll talk about separately. I don't want to compare the two together. Not yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this separate, Druids separate, and then a game with both of them together. It'll just be me playing the game with both of them. It won't be a whole thing with the rules and all that with that game. But when I make these videos, they're mainly to teach me how to play the games again, because I'll forget if they're a couple years not playing, even a couple weeks, let alone years. So Druids will be coming out eventually. Back to the Journeyman. It doesn't add a lot of steps in the game, so to say, but it does add a lot of time to the game. You're adding at least an hour and a half, or a half hour to the base game. That says 60 minutes for the base game. With 2 players, you could cut it down to, depending on the players, probably a half hour, 45 minutes. This will add at least a half hour to that. So I haven't played it with more than 2 players, but I can see this turning into something that outstays its welcome with 4 or 5 players. Even though all this is done simultaneously, it's still, you're going to have to wait for one player to figure out what they're going to do or whatever. It's going to add some time to it, and significant time to it. Almost doubles it in my opinion. So there's a time factor. But if you enjoy that, playing it for a longer time with it, that's fine. Like I said, it almost outstays the welcome of the length of the game for me. Not that I don't have fun with it, but it's very close to that line for what Isle of Skye is, in my mind. The components, one of the negative is the rule book. It's written very, very well. It's not that it's poorly written or anything, but it's one of my pet peeves, as I said, there's no guide on the back, player aid. And with the base game, you got it on the back of the shield, but there's a couple steps that they should have like a player aid for in the expansion. Like when somebody buys a tile from you, or you buy one of the Journeyman tile, you move up on a slot on one of the tracks. People forget that, especially if you're new to the expansion. And then that whole Journeyman stage, if it's not complicated, so to say, for me. Newer players might have a little trouble with it, or people who never played that type of game with the action points and all that. But it would be nice if there was something, even if it was just one player aid that you could pass around, instead of passing this rule book around for everybody. Although they did give you on the back the what the gold tiles are worth, an explanation of the gold tiles, the end of round gold tiles. Speaking of which, I do like that. Other than the one that counts the bridges, the other 3 don't really affect or can be played with the base game and not affect it. The one with the bridges is the only one that is specific to this expansion. So that's cool that you could intermix them. It adds a little more variety to the base game. You don't even have to play with the Journeyman expansion. It's just 3 more goal options. The roads are a nice addition, especially considering that you're using roads in the Journeyman expansion. But it's nice that you could use these to mitigate certain things. Get that extra point of movement that you need. Instead of spend 2, you could throw this down. Only have to spend 1. Makes it quicker to get around the board. Makes it, so you can get more income if you place it right. So the roads make sense with it. Components wise, I can't complain about the components with it, other than, like I said, that minor thing with the rule book. Not having a player aid. Components are fine. These bonus tiles are cool. They make sense to the expansion. Most of them are one-time use. These last ones, you got to work on them. You got to, it's in the games I played. I played by myself 5 times, I think. The first game, that's all you watch. So 4 times, and with Gen 3 or 4, 2 or 3 times with this expansion. Get them too mixed up sometimes. But what I found is you gotta like work on them last 3 tiles. The games I played, nobody's ever got all 3, usually 2, if that. But you're avoiding one track to push them up, although they can be powerful in the beginning. Like buying that extra tile can be powerful, I guess, throughout the game. But the axe thing, again, depends on when you get it. And same thing with the last one, which was you get money from the bank instead of paying yourself, which in the beginning of the game that could be really powerful, but you're not going to get to it on the track. In the middle of the game, I guess it depends on your strategy. Sometimes them tiles are worth it, sometimes not. But again, I haven't really explored this game enough to see all of it. It's just the half dozen or so times I played it with the expansion. I do like the end scores in the base game too. It ramps up towards the end with the points and all that. This adds a little bit more to that. And that's it. Overall, I think it's a cool addition, but it changes the game for me. So, I think I would probably, depending on the group I'm playing with, I would probably leave it in with the base game if it were just main gen. But if I were exposing new people to Isle of Skye, I would not combine this in with the base game. Whereas with Druids, I would, because it's a lot easier of an expansion for people to follow who just played the base game. All right. So, something you're interested in, it's online. You can find it. There's plenty of information on Board Game Geek. And that's it. Get gaming, have fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Get me out.